Good evening. This is Matthew. Welcome to Caffeine News, where we try to post daily conflict news updates in condensed format. Let's get right to today's conflict news updates in the past 24 hours. So, starting in Washington, D.C., Trump says he will sanction Russia after Putin launches largest air attack of the war. In Ilsky, Russia, an oil refinery hit by a drone. Over 27% of Russia's refining capacity is gone. Russia sets government building ablaze in the biggest air attack of the Ukraine war. Ukraine hit by world war's largest air assault, 805 drone strike, woman and infant killed, government building ablaze. The assault set the Cabinet of Ministers building on fire in the first confirmed strike on a government headquarters since the start of the war. In the Pokrovsk region, a Ukrainian soldier took off his patch, infiltrated a Russian group, and gave them a welcome present. New call sign, Big Balls Welcome. And here's a little short video that shows the incident. So there you have it. All right, moving on. Ukraine weapons. Ukraine now produces 60% of weapons for its armed forces, says Zelensky. Moving on to the Donetsk Oblast. Ukrainian soldier firing thermobaric ammunition at enemy infantry from a Ukrainian-made RPG-16 rocket-propelled launcher. And here's a short video of that. All right, moving on. In Moscow, 8-hour lines for gasoline in Russia are becoming everyday life. Here's a short little video. And there you have that. Moving on. Ukrainian soldiers of Brotherhood Battalion of the GUR thwarted the plans of the Russians to break through to the borders of. And here's a video. Obviously, I'm not going to have a lot of sound because I don't want to get in trouble by YouTube. Okay, there you have that. Moving on, Ukrainian Dodo unit of the 5th Assault Brigade burned a Russian position in the Kramatorsk direction. Here's a little video of that. And there you have that. Moving on. In Russia, Russian logistics is being terrorized by Ukrainian FPVs. And there you have that. Pretty good footage there. All right, moving on, Ukraine weapons too. The Ukrainian system of the UGV mounting and Igla manpads is called Prometheus. It can operate at the front line or even in the gray zone to hunt Russian aviation without endangering the operator. Now, far to the rear, 28th Mechanized Brigade, and here's some footage. So there's footage of that. Moving on here. Canadian soldier was found dead in Latvia during NATO Operation Reassurance deployment. A Canadian Armed Forces member has been found dead in Latvia 3 days after being reported missing from his NATO deployment. In Poland, Russian drone crosses NATO border and flies freely. Poland responds with radar alerts, but no action again. As you know, there was a previous couple that this has happened, and Poland continues to not respond. I would imagine, there's a strategy in not responding at this time. However, despite the highest readiness status and the Allied jets in the air, Warsaw neither intercepted nor explained. So back in Washington, D.C., and moving on to Venezuela, Trump hints at Venezuela action, Venezuela and Latin America, and also asked if he plans to attack Venezuela. Trump said, "You're going to find out." Trump previously signed an executive order calling for increasing the use of military force against Latin America drug cartels. A U.S. naval group, including 7 warships and a submarine, was dispatched to the Caribbean waters near Venezuela on August 28th. Cartel update. Cartel connection. Hezbollah and Iran explore Maduro's Venezuela for cocaine cash. Hezbollah has become a main money launderer for narco-terrorism groups like the TDA. Former DEA official warns Hezbollah has become a main finance and money launderer for narco-terrorism groups like the TDA, ensuring that when cocaine moves, Hezbollah-linked facilitators are often processing at least part of the proceeds. A senior fellow at Israel's Institute for National Security Studies said Hezbollah's reach depends heavily on the region's Lebanese. Most of the Shia, at least in Central and South America, is Lebanese. Hezbollah is the connector between them and Iran. They also said the group uses family ties, language, and community institutions to cement its influence across Latin America. They appoint imams, fund religious centers, and control educational programs. Through these networks, Hezbollah can interact with local cartels, sell drugs, and channel the profits back to Lebanon through elaborate schemes. He said this role as a connector makes Hezbollah indispensable to Iran's strategy in the Western Hemisphere. The connection starts and ends with enmity towards the West in general, specifically to the United States. As long as Maduro is there, the Iranians will be there. But if Maduro goes, Iran will lose the most important stronghold of its activity in Latin America. Now, moving on, in the south of Puerto Rico, U.S. troops are getting ready in the south of Puerto Rico. Here's some footage. There you have it. Now, moving on to the last update. So, Maduro vows to defend Venezuela's sovereignty as tensions with the U.S. escalate. President Nicolas Maduro has vowed to defend Venezuela's sovereignty as tensions rise over the deployment of U.S. warships in the Caribbean. He urged President Donald Trump to engage in dialogue to avoid conflict. Venezuela is always ready for dialogue, but we demand respect, Maduro said in a speech at a military base in Caracas. None of our differences justify a high impact military conflict in South America. The strike has ruffled feathers across Latin America, a region that has suffered the long term effects of previous American incursions. Dressed in camouflage, Maduro oversaw a ceremony in which he ordered the mobilization of militias and said there would be an armed struggle in the case of any attack. Washington has deployed more than 4,000 troops and naval assets in the region, saying the move targets Latin American drug cartels. U.S. officials have not suggested a ground incursion into Venezuela, but Maduro denounced the buildup as a threat of invasion. He accused the U.S. of fabricating drug trafficking allegations to justify regime change, pointing to Washington's decision last month to double its reward for his arrest to $50 million. The vague threat of American intervention has long been a card Maduro has played to rally support in the South American nation amid waning political support. And there you have it. There is the news for the day. And that's all we have for tonight. If you like these types of daily updates and news, please support us by hitting the like button and subscribing to the channel. It helps and means a lot. Bye bye for now. Caffeine News out.